Hola chicos y chicas, soy LKB o espero otro lado te quiero voy y básicamente yo lo para documentar mi vida. Hola chicos y chicas, my name is LKB or spelled the other way to Kyra Boyd and welcome to live videos at LKB where like I said, my videos document my life. So if you're new to my channel, like I said, my name is LKB or Takara Boyd and I make hauls, vlogs, natural hair, and just life in general. So today's video is actually part 2 of Boundaries in Dating, chapter 3, Take Out on a Date. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we're starting on the one point about differences can promote growth. So let's get started. Differences can promote growth. Demanding that your date have exactly the same spiritual values as you could be a problem. Through the fundamentals of the Christian life, as we have outlined above, are basic requirements. It is best to be in a relationship with someone who has thought through his own spiritual issues deeply and individually, and has reached his own conclusions. To require precisely the same theological or traditional values in all areas, large and small, could indicate control issues, perfectionism, or uncertainty in your own faith. Fall in love with someone who can take you on spiritually, and let the sparks fly. Some of the most meaningful times of growth for dates can be when they argue, read the Bible, and come to the terms of spiritual matters. So I do agree with that. Don't always want someone that's exactly like you because you can really grow to dislike that person because you can realize how annoying you are. I wouldn't want someone exactly like me because I know I can be kind of annoying. So I want someone different because I can learn from that person and grow from that person as well. Okay, next point is integration of faith into real life. There are religious people and there are spiritual people. If you guys watch part 1, I was talking about this in part 1. Religious people know the truth, but spiritual people do it. You want you and your date to have lives that reflect both knowing and doing spiritual reality in the real world. And that is what character is all about, integrating the realities of God's ordinances into everyday life. God meant your spiritual life to drive and direct all other aspects of your life, relational, financial, sexual, job concerns, and everything else that comprises life. Too often, sincerely behaving folks may read their Bibles and faithfully attend church, but at the same time have great conflicts bringing their spiritual values into all their existence. This problem occurs in two basic forms of the dating world. One, difficulties in bringing up faith matters, and difficulties in living the life. So I'm not gonna go into that, but I did talk about that in the part 1 about there's a lot of religious and faithful people, and religious I think of rules and spiritual actually doing and having that relationship with God and things like that. Okay, so we're gonna do part 1, what they said, difficulties in bringing up faith matters. We don't believe you can only find people to date at church. There are plenty of deeply spiritual believers in all other arenas of life. They are in the same areas you live in: the business environment, hobby centers, sports, social work, and care for unfortunate and others. If you want your date to be a person with a life, get out in life and look for him. Unfortunately, this may mean you may not know much about a person's faith as you evaluate whether or not you want to pursue dating him. You can tell a lot about character by how a person operates in the world, but character maturity is not always derived from Christian belief. Yes. Just because someone's Christian does not believe their character can always be like that. We all are works in progress and we all have kinks, that, we try to get ironed out by God and, things like that. Where was I? Okay, there are erring and responsible people who aren't believers, so it is important to address issues of faith pretty soon. Some people have a lot of problems bringing up spiritual issues. They don't know where to start and feel a lot of conflict about it. Here are some of the problems. Feeling awkward and unnatural, not wanting to turn the day off to God, being anxious that you might lose the relationship, being concerned that since you aren't perfect, you'll be seen as hypocritical, not knowing how to discuss spiritual issues because they are so private. These are all important issues. However, it is helpful to remember the underlying reality of dating. You are ultimately trying to find a good marriage partner. That is the point of dating, y'all. You are looking for someone to marry. And women, don't go look for a husband. Men are supposed to leave their family and go look for a husband. Go look for a wife. You're not supposed to go out there doing that. You can go out and have fun and go on dates, but the whole point of dating is to build relationships, period. Whether that's intimate or just friendships, that's you're just supposed to build good and godly relationships. And a lot of people lose the sight of dating and they think it's just like a game, a constant wheel, and it's not. Because when you finally find the person you're looking for, you don't keep looking out to other things. Okay, yeah. So you want that person to know about and share your relationship with God because that is the most important part of who you are, and hopefully of who He is. Okay, now this is the point two that they said: difficulties in living the life. Excuse me. So many folks in the dating world do talk about their faith with each other and support each other spiritually. Yet they have another conflict. They have areas in their dating life where they don't walk the talk. They exhibit a chronic pattern of weaknesses or struggle that doesn't seem to resolve itself over time. It may be sex, deception, immature ways of conflict resolution, or control issues. Whatever it is, their spiritual life has not transformed their character as it should. There's a painful split or contradiction between what they believe and what they are practicing. This split existence is often not the product of a lack of resentment to God. Indeed, they might be deeply spiritual. A split existence has more to do with the inability to integrate their needs and life into God's way of meeting needs. So it's like you may say, you want this job, but you're not going after to get it, and or like you not trying to ask God to be like, God, is this the path I should take? It's like you just really trying to do it all on your own, and you're not even trying to include God. Um, where was I? Yeah, of God's ways of meeting needs. Sexual acting out may be a shortcut to intimacy or other needs, as we will see in the chapter on physical relationships. Rescuing an immature date from the consequences of his bad temper may be due to a fear of being dishonest and righteous, or being honest and righteous. Back and forth relationships that involve lots of breaking up and making up may be the symptom of inability to emotionally leave home and be an independent adult. I was having a business lunch with a man who did not know my faith. We were doing the unusual kibitzing about our lives to get to know each other. This man spent a lot of time talking badly about his wife, as well as discussing lots of other women he was interested in a sexual way. Somehow we got on religion, and I mentioned my faith. Immediately, he also identified himself as a Christian and began talking in glorious terms about the grace of God and his deep love for Christ. Have y'all met people like that? That y'all be talking regular, get to know somebody. And then, not even talking about a relation, I'm just talking about two people, like two girls or two guys, whatever. Just talking. And then all of a sudden you bring up your faith, and then they whole conversation change. Then it's like, oh yeah, I'm Christian too. And then they just start, and you be like, that's weird. Like, they just switch up so quick. That's real weird. I wondered if I was with the same guy. So complete was his turnaround. But as I listened, the spiritual stuff sounded pretty canned, like a sermon that he had preached many times. I think he was probably a believer, but this man had a sort of split existence that makes life miserable. This is the sort of split that many people find themselves in today's day. So yeah, like they always be like they come around, you don't even know that they Christian, and then you start, like I said, you start talking about it, it's just like, am I talking to the same person? Like, and you just be looking like, hello? Okay. Whatever the case, there are spiritual answers to these conflicts, and the couple needs to be dealing with these. That is why you want to be dating someone who is not only of the faith, but is aware of his or her weaknesses and issues, and is in the process of working things out, whether it be in accountability groups, support groups, or counseling. A lifetime of marriage to a person with a character issue that has never been addressed can be very painful. This is why it is so important to speak up and address things that don't make sense to you with your date. If you notice inconsistency in him or her, or in how the relationship is going, bring it up. Let me reread that. If you notice inconsistency in him or her, or how the relationship is going, bring it up. If he or she is a good person, he or she will probably be grateful that you took a risk, and you guys can both work on resolving it. Sometimes the wording in here is really weird, so I end up having to just sum it up, y'all. Don't demand perfection in him or her. or yourself. Instead, require righteousness. A righteous person stays connected to God, his source. But when he slips and falls, he will take correction well and will reconnect himself back to God. William. 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 Yeah, sorry, I was voice recording. Why are you looking like that? You asleep. You asleep? Mm. Alright, I'm gonna finish recording. I'm just gonna put you down. Love you. Okay. um. Okay. An active role in each other's growth. Another aspect of a spiritual part of dating is that you need to matter to each other on a spiritual level. This tends to increase over time as the relationship deepens and is more committed. But the idea is that you need to be part of each other's growth and conduct. Even if you do not end up marrying, you need to take the stance that during your tenure as dates, you both will grow spiritually. Here are some of the ways you can help each other grow. So they give us a couple of them. One is input and feedback. 2, give it time. 3, don't be a parent. 4, comfort and challenge. Oh, it's just 4 points. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm like so choppy with this book. Okay, let's go ahead. So an active role in each other's growth. So number 1, input and feedback. As your relationship grows, so should your awareness of each other's struggles and needs. Your day is in a unique position with you. You may know or see things that you do not. Geez, why can I read? Your day is in a unique position with you and may know or see things in you that others do not see. Sorry, yo. Let me tell y'all, I can read. The way this book is worded is so difficult to read. Like there's like a lot of missing words, or there's like a lot of extra words like that just do not need to be in there. And I be trying to read word from word, but sometimes I be summing up, and it's just too much, y'all. I can read. It's just sometimes their wording. Not saying that they can't write books. Obviously, they wrote a book, but it's just a lot of extra words like and wording that just does not sit well with me trying to read this. Okay, let me reread this. Input and feedback. As your relationship grows, so should your awareness of each other's struggles and needs. Your date is in a unique position with you and may know or see things in you that others do not see. In the more committed stages of the connection, you need to give each other permission to confront, give effort, give input, and encourage on spiritual levels. If your date is resistant to spiritual feedback, something is amiss, as the Bible has harsh words for those who can't handle input. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insult. Whoever rebukes a wicked man incurs abuse. Proverbs 9:7. And I agree with that. Everybody should be able to take constructive criticism. Like, if not that you just allowing so much, like, just incorrectness into your life. And whenever someone's trying to correct you and be positive about it and constructive about it and nice about it, you should take it. Because sometimes it's hard to look at ourselves and like, see each other for what they really are, especially in a relationship. Like, there's a lot of times William had to tell me like, hey, I don't like that. And sometimes, most of the time, 9 out of 10, I'm not gonna lie, I got mad about it. But then later on, I had to sit back and think, hey, he was just trying to tell me something, and that I need to listen to what he's saying. He's the person on the outside looking in, so he can do it biasly without having a bias, and things like that. And when I tell William stuff, it's the same way. We both try to understand where both the other person is coming from and be respectful of that. Okay, so next point is give it time. Generally speaking, it is a good idea to let some time and experiences pass between you before confronting a great deal. Be quick to listen, slow to speak. James 1:19. You may have misunderstood something that you might see better over time. Or you might see an act that may never be repeated again, so that what you interpreted as a pattern was really an isolated event. Or you may need to let time pass for enough grace to build between you so that you won't be seen as a condemning judge. Remember that we all need grace before we hear the truth. And this is just so true. Like, me and William been through a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of times where we did have to just space from each other. Like, it was just, hey, let me take some time. Whether that's an hour, whether that's 30 minutes, whether that's like a couple days, weeks, and then when we come back, we nip the issue in the butt and keep it moving. You don't want to, I mean, you don't want to take like a break, but you do need to like have time to really reflect on things, because sometimes in the moment, like the anger of the moment or the heat of the moment, things can be said that you really don't mean, and it can end up doing more damage than good. Okay, next point is don't be a parent. Avoid the tendency to take the role of spiritual responsibility for your date. Don't set up the relationship so that she is performing and growing under your tutelage. Why? Because children have one main job, and that is to leave their parents. If you are the daddy, she must grow up and leave you in order to fulfill God's purpose of becoming an adult. A friend of mine made the mistake. He fell in love with a woman whom he then began to discipline. He took her through various Bible studies, gave her assignments, and had her reading books. He was so excited about this until the day she left him for another guy, saying that she felt too controlled. It was a devastating experience for him. However, he learned from it. He told me, next time I'll leave the discipline to someone else. Yes, don't become someone's father or their mother. Like me and William, we don't be like, we not like that. Like, we don't be like, oh, you gotta do this, and he be like, you gotta know. We kind of, and because we're not together, we don't really, you know, unless it's like sometimes William has to get on me and be like, Takar, you really need to get up and go to work, or hey, you need to wake up, like things like that. But that's because I ask him to do that, like especially when I take a nap. But it's never like he's like demanding I go do something, and neither am I. It's not really like that serious to us. Like, we don't feel like we have to be each other's moms and dads and stuff like that. So we have never encountered that issue, but I know there's a lot of people that get in relationships and want to become like the quote unquote parent figure for the other, when that's not even the case. Okay, next point is comfort and challenge. Good relationships involve not only feedback, but enough permission to comfort each other's hurts and challenges each other's. Oh, I just rambled over that. Good relationships involve not only feedback, but enough permission to comfort each other's hurts and challenge each other's failings. Make sure you are both doing both. Some relationships are strong on comfort, but there is no spurring each other on. And some are quite challenging, but can also be harsh and critical. Be both comforting and challenging. So that's another thing. Me and William, we have that balance really well. Like, we do comfort each other a lot. Like, when I'm crying, William's there. When William's going through something, I'm there. Or we try to, like, even if we can't be there on the phone, we try to leave like little voice messages or pictures, little encouraging things. But both of us do know how to both get on the people's ass, like put some heat under the. I'm sorry, that's just what we say. Put some fire under the ass or fire under the butt, and make us do stuff. Like when William tells me, "Car, you need to get up and go to this interview. You need to get up. You need to, and pushing me to do a lot, because there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have done by myself if William was not there to push me, and some stuff, some cases, William as well. So it's just like you have to have, like I said, a balance of being like comfort them, yes, but challenge them, push them, because you want to see the best in them and they want to see the best in you, and you also want that in yourself. So you should just really want that for the whole relationship. Like, William, can you hear me? William, can you hear me? Hello? William's watching some show, y'all. He don't hear me. um, he was there, but like our earbud situation is like I bought him some, and then I bought myself some, and then mine broke, and then his broke, and I lost mine. It's like, so it's really hard like to hear through the phone. So that's why I turned them on the way down, so it won't be loud on my voice record. So yeah, y'all, let me go back to this. So now we're on spiritual compatibility. A major aspect of dating is spiritual compatibility, or the extent to which you are a good match in your faith lives. At one level, this should be an easy area to deal with. At another, it is a very difficult one. Well, it's only 2:11. I've only been talking for like 11 minutes. Well, like 21 minutes, but yeah. Y'all, I'm doing this before I have to get on the bus. So I'm like, okay, I'm almost done. This is good. I'm like, I only got like 3 pages left. Now that I'm trying to rush, I just wanted to record this before I left. So when I come home, all I have to do is put it up. Okay, yeah, so the design issue. The easy part is that God has designed you for intimacy with himself and others. We can trust that this is a part of our makeup. It also means that the deepest part of you is made to desire spiritual intimacy with another person. If that part of you is working properly, you will seek out healthy spirituality in others. Ultimately, you will be interested in and drawn to others who share your spiritual life. If something is broken inside you, you will tend to find yourself drawn to unhealthy or absent spirituality. So at this level, spiritual compatibility is a diagnostic issue of our own spiritual health. However, there are considerations. Yes, and I agree with that. Because you are the company you keep, you know. It's just kind of like when you sad and you put on depressive music to make yourself more sad, or when you happy you put on real happy lit music. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, so yeah, spiritual development path. Spiritual development means that you are not who you were, nor are you who you will be. With preservation, what the heck? Oh, with perseverance in the process, we are ultimately to become mature and complete. James 1:4. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just this book is like so overly wordy, like, and it's making me stumble over my words. And I'm sorry for the choppiness of this voiceover. I really am. And the other one, because the other one was like that as well. Like, it's so choppy. That's why I don't really like to do this boundaries and dating too much, but since it's Vlogmas, I was like, well, I want to bring it back. Like, you know, it's good stuff in here. It's just it's so choppy. That's why I usually, like, after I do it, I try to post the main points in the description boxes and the discussion board, because sometimes people don't even want to really listen to the whole thing, and then they can just go over there and do the questions or the homework. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, James 1:4. As you mature, your attitudes, values, and habits change. Sometimes people date and fall in love during a particular period of spiritual growth for one or both. Things go well as long as both are in the same period. Excuse me. However, if one of them goes through major changes, there's a great deal of conflict and adjustment. I knew a couple who were both going through a phase of spiritual adolescence and doubt. They were questioning God, the church, the Bible, and dabbling into each other's faiths and other faiths. Supporting each other's quest and exploration, they married. However, the woman subsequently returned to her Christianity, divested of some of the traditions that had burdened her. But her husband stayed on the fringes of faith and has never returned. Though he is a good man in many other ways, she has had a very lonely role in the spiritual part of her marriage. Yes, don't get into a marriage like where y'all both gonna try to figure this out, and then y'all get together and realize y'all on 2 different paths. That is like not the worst situation you could be in, but it's one of many situations. It's an uncomfortable, like they said, a lonely path. It's like literally you doing you and they doing them, but y'all together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying like when you get in a marriage with somebody that your dreams and hopes and their dreams and hopes have to all of a sudden become one. No, it's like you have your things separately but together. Like I said, it's you coming with your relationship with God, the other person coming with their relationship with God, and God becomes the center pillar of y'all relationship. That's all it is. Y'all still 2 separate people. Y'all just come together with God being the main focus, God and love. That's it. You know. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so hoarse. Now it's unrealistic to require that you and your dates all be full grown, as everyone will continue changing. But we will be concerned if you or your date had never had a spiritual questioning period of some sort. Questioning is how people truly own their faith, instead of piggybacking off the faith of their parents. Yes, people that just grew up in the church and stuff, there's a lot of them that run away from the church because they just been told this is how we do it. But the main problem of that is that they haven't learned, like, you have to have a relationship with God. You need to talk to God, seek God. That's the main thing. It's about having a relationship with God. It's not about doing all these rituals and it's all this other stuff and all this other stuff we can't explain why we doing and this and that and this and that. And yeah, everybody, and I'm sure if you haven't, you will have a questioning of God, not asking if God is real, but just like, God, what is my purpose? God, why am I here? God, what am I meant to do to serve you and things like that. That's what they mean by questioning. And even in one part, in part one, they talked about, like, if someone, be careful of people who have never, what was that say? Let me see where it was. Was it spiritual autonomy? Yeah, no, it was like spiritual autonomy and struggle. It was like talking about, like, be careful of people that say they never had went through anything, and be careful of people that like, just be careful of that, like, because everybody's gonna go through something or have gone through something, or like people that seem like they just got their whole life together, because they'll be the most broken people. Um, okay, yeah. Questioning is how people truly own their faith, instead of piggybacking off the faith of their parents. At the same time, it is important that both you and your date have resolved the major tenets of your quest. Do not get meaning. Do not get serious if your date is still up in the air about the content and meaning of his or her Christianity. At a time of spiritual questioning, you can be supportive and helpful, giving room to grow, but do not make major commitments. Yes, don't fall in love with a hope and a dream. Because if you fall in love with a hope and a dream, and your hope die, and then your dream die, boy, you ain't got nothing. That's it. Because it was not based on faith and love. It was based on hoping and dreaming and wishing and all this other stuff. You get wrapped up into a fantasy, and you forget about the reality of everything. That's what I was also talking about. This is funny because it's like this book carries on from the previous chapter. Like talking about like how, like I started talking about like goals and stuff like that. Oh, those are people's relationship goals. You don't know when to say that because you don't know what they go through on a daily basis, and you may not really want to be their goals because you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors and just on social media. You're just looking at the social media and you saying, "Oh, I like what I see," but you don't know the soul and the roots of their relationship for you to say that. Okay. Next point is areas of belief and practice. As you get to know your date spiritually, you will need to decide what areas of belief and practice are disagreements you can live with, and those you can't. Some of this will be some of this will be preference, and some will be pretty objective. The tenets of Christianity are well articulated, and you need to know them for yourself. Discuss and deal with these with your date as you become closer. Yeah, so back to like me and William, because I'm using us as an example. I mean, why would I use some other random person, not use myself? When William and I first got together, we talked a lot about our faith and with God, and we talked about, like, as of recently, since we started talking about kids and getting married and stuff, we talked about like a lot of things we would want to do, like when we have our kids and when we're together. Like one big thing for me is that I pray every morning I wake up. So now when he comes here, hello, William. Oh. So now, when we come together, that's one thing I want to incorporate is us praying every morning. No matter if I work it. William, hello? Hello, William? You can't hear me? No. Sorry, y'all. I don't know if I told y'all, but like, let me just break for a minute. The connection right now, like in Jamaica and here, is like bad. So like when it's our winter time, it's their rainy season. So the connection is really bad. So most time it's like I'm talking to myself and William don't want to talk. But no, 9 times out of 10 he don't hear me. Like I can hear him and everything, but he don't hear me. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, like we start really talking about how we want to raise our kids, and one thing I want to do is go to church every Sunday and make that like our family day. Like we go to church in the morning and then we spend the rest of the day with the family. and prepare for work and school on Monday. Hello, William. Yeah. No, I'm doing my voiceover, but I'm talking about our relationship. You want to say anything? We're talking about let me see. We're talking about belief and practice in a relationship. Like some things like that we want to do when we have kids and marriage and things like that. Did you want to say something about it? Oh, I shouldn't have put you on the spot. All right, William. You gotta prepare first. All right, William. I'm gonna turn you back down so I can finish doing this.
I just like family, some family outing, family picnic, stuff like that. Like maybe we have a special day out of the month, so we have that family party thing.
Yeah.
We have a family night, so we can play games, guys, watch a movie, just have our special family time. That would bring the family more closer together.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying. It's funny how you talked about that because I just was saying like one thing is that I know me and you talked about is like every Sunday we go to church in the morning and then later on in the day we can like go out and go get food, like you said, have a picnic, just have family time, you know. And then at night we prepare for work and get the kids ready for school and stuff like that. So yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, I like picnic.
Yeah.
Enjoy the whole evening.
Yeah.
Like that.
Especially when it's nice out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like that's how like so we and William were saying like that's one big thing for us. Like we want to make well he said every month, but I would want to do that every Sunday. If we can afford to pack up some meat sandwiches or something and we just get in the car at the church and just go and it's nice out, we go somewhere and sit out or whatever and we just have that time with
Okay. But I said once a month because sometimes we don't know how to schedule
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like every Sunday we have to go out to dinner, like a nice dinner or anything.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, let's say,
Once a month.
yeah, I agree with you. But like, I was telling them, like, how I want us to still go to church every Sunday if we can, and then like after Sunday, you know how maybe we cook and bring people over, or maybe we go, like you said, have a picnic, and we go for dinner. We don't have to always spend money. We can just pack up some foods, like you said, and just go. So yeah, me and William are on the same page, y'all. It was funny how you said that, William, because I was just talking about it. You didn't even hear me. Um, and then like as far as me and William's like beliefs, like I mean we both Christian and we both hold the same beliefs. Um, I don't know. Like I talked in my last video, like one thing, like I sometimes cover my hair. William knows I cover my hair sometimes. William knows I fast sometimes, and William fasts and things like that. So it's not even like it's not like me and William are on two separate pages. If anything, we talked about this stuff already, so we know, kind of what we want to do. you know. Thanks, William, for your input.
Yeah.
Love you.
Me too.
Okay, I'm gonna put you over here so I can finish reading. Okay, yeah. So yeah, if y'all like William popping in these little Bible studies, let me know, cause then maybe we can. I will have to probably let him prepare a little bit better, cause I did just put him on the spot. But if y'all like his little input, y'all and it's as much valuable as mine. You know, then maybe I can start asking him to, I get him a topic and he give me some points or whatever he wants to say, and I let y'all know. So yeah, that was random. Sorry for putting you on the spot like that, Willie. I just thought I would ask because they were talking about like belief and practice. Sorry, y'all. I'm so hoarse. Like the air is so dry. Okay, let me get back to what we was doing. Um, okay. So differences in spiritual level. Many people struggle with questions of dating others who are at a different level than they are spiritually. Here are some of the differences and some suggestions on how to deal with them. Christian and non-Christian. So this is a big one. A lot of people I dated, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, were not Christians. I'm not even gonna lie. But through that, and this was mainly like through my middle school, high school. This wasn't like now. Because and now, I mean, I have William, and me and William are courting. We're not dating to see how this goes, and no, we are courting. We are together with intentions of marriage. That is what courting is. Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, so like just in that situation of being like in middle school and high school, you don't have the luxury that some of us have now, like being able to drive and well, I wasn't able to drive. I didn't have a job in college. I mean high school and stuff like that. So it was kind of like you just kind of meet up with people and hang out with people that was at your school. And at that time, everybody was not on the same level as you. Well, level as me more or less because I was very into faith and I didn't care for the whole dating scene. Every person I was with, I was intending to marry. From a young age, I wanted to court. I want to have a husband. I never desired to have a boyfriend. That does not make me feel any better about my life. I don't want no boyfriend. I want someone that I can call my husband at the end of the day. And it's funny because even when William and I were first dating, um, we call each other's like husband and wives off the back, and it wasn't like, oh, that's just little cute pet names. No, we knew that we were going to be together, and surely enough, like within a year, we both had like visions and basically like confirmation from God that we're meant to be together. Period. Point blank. Period. So, yeah. Um, okay, let me read this. Christian and non-Christian. Christians need to be very involved in the real world as agents of God's love. That this is what being salt and light are about. Matthew 5:13 through 16. At the same time, the deepest and most significant part of of you needs to find a home in the heart of the most important human relationship in your life. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Because of this, we believe that Christians should not be in serious dating relationships with non-Christians. Because it's the whole thing of being unevenly yoked. Period. If someone is not Christian and you're a Christian, or Muslim and non-Muslim, or Hebrew and non-Hebrew, it's like y'all gonna always have that conflicting issue. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I at one point dated a Muslim, okay, and it was for a very long time, for a little bit of time, and it was just like it wasn't our faiths that separated us. It was just like things that they expected, and it was like that whole kind of control thing at one point, and it was just like, I don't like this. Get out. Like, yeah, um, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I got really quiet because I just totally forgot where I was at. Okay, here we are. This is not to say that you should not have non-Christian friends of the opposite sex. Many enriching relationships can occur here, and non-Christians need to know that there are believing men and women who can treat them in respectful brother and sister ways. However, we believe that it is best to reserve your romantic interests for those of the same faith, and I do agree with that. You can have friends that are non-Christian. I have so many friends that are Muslim. I have so many friends that are Christian. I have so many friends that don't really commit to any religion, but they know who God is. I have lots of friends from many different backgrounds, and all of them are pretty good people. Period. You know. But like I said, I personally did this whole husband box, and honestly, that was my number one. You had to be a Christian. That's just me. It's some people that don't really, their faith is not that important to them. But for me, that was a really big thing because my faith is my everything. The way I want to do stuff when I have kids, you have to think about that when you guys live together, and finances and all types of stuff just go in with your faith. If your faith truly is your faith, you know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah. So however, we believe that it's best to reserve your romantic interests for those of the same faith. Romantic desire is a wonderful gift, but it has been known to cloud the best judgment and can unknowingly exploit our own character weaknesses. So connect your romantic parts to good-hearted believers in your faith. So what so that when you truly fall in love, that aspect won't be an issue. Like I said, it's very big part, you know. And you don't want to regret later down the line after y'all got married and you're like, well, I like us to do this, and they're like, well, I don't really partake in that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, next point is committed and uncommitted. Many people who are serious about their faith wonder about dating Christians who are openly, peripherally involved in their spiritual life. This question is more complex than the above one. Here are some ways to think about it. How do you know your date is uncommitted? First, make sure about what you are perceiving. Sometimes our own judgment uh, or perfectionism can make different things bad. I'm sorry, this I really don't like the way this book is worded. It's really choppy, y'all. The person may not seem to be on the same track, but she may have a much deeper track that you can't see because of your own issues. Do not assume, for example, that because she does not know the Bible as well as you, that she does not love God as much as you. Yes, yes, this is a very big issue. See, a lot of people need to realize that God does not look at how many scriptures you can memorize and everything. It's about that relationship with God. Because a lot of times I don't go to Bible study. And even when I go to Bible study, do get something out of it, but for me it's like school. And it's like I'm kind of just here because I need to be here. But it's like if I don't go to Bible study, it's not like I feel bad because most of the time I'm here doing something, or me and William are having conversation or something. We still tie a relationship with God, and it's just like even sometimes when I can't always make it to church on Sunday. At the end of the day, God know my heart, and I still go to church, and I still do give God the praise, and things like that. But that big thing of knowing the Bible, that don't mean anything. Knowing the Bible don't mean nothing if you're not gonna use it. You know, it's like if I go get my car, y'all, which I'm gonna be getting my car soon. It's like if I go get a car and then I really need my car, but I don't use it. I still go take the bus. I still waste money on Lyft and Uber. Like, you're not using it. You're not applying it to your daily life. It's just there collecting dust. Good thing. It's a good thing, good information that you just letting go dormant. You know. Um. Why does she seem less committed? Sometimes a person seems less committed because she has sustained loss, overwhelming stress, or failure in life. Though, ideally, we should become closer to God in these times. Sometimes we withdraw. An otherwise deeply connected person may be going through a very bad time spiritually. In these cases, it is worth to support her struggle and help her resolve it, while putting serious commitment on the back burner until things play themselves out. What if she remains uncommitted? There there certainly are believers who stay at lesser levels of commitment to God. If it becomes clear over time that this is the case, it is probably best to part ways. Yes. It's different if it's just a season, a couple months, a couple days. But if this is how they are all the time, then no, it's time for you all to separate because y'all obviously are not on the same path. Um Again, this is one of those questions that is better resolved by your own spiritual health. Yes, you have to look within yourself first. If things are working right inside of you, you will at some point sense a spiritual emptiness in the relationship that when translated to marriage can be a major problem. So they're saying like before you even make that step of marriage, evaluate y'all relationship. Before you even get in a relationship, evaluate y'all company. Then after you evaluate your company, then you can get confirmation from God, you know, and proceed. Like, one thing was like, okay, I can tell y'all one big thing, like how I knew William was meant to be. I'm sorry, y'all. That yawn was like super unexpected, and I'm sorry I did not block it out, but it just came up out of my belly or my throat, wherever yawns come from, y'all. So like one thing is like me and William's relationship. So when me and William met, I was actually in a relationship with somebody, and William was a really good friend to me. William didn't try to interfere with my relationship. William wanted the best for me, just wanted to see me happy. And then eventually, me and that guy, regardless of what me and William had, were just friends. I broke up with that guy. That guy was not actually the guy was not on the same path as me, and just did not know where he wanted to go, and I had to leave him be. That was the point where I had to know I had to break him off. And then I saw, and I had already seen, and William had seen in me that we were both like on the same level of wanting to be together. But it's like we wanted to go on this journey with God, but with someone, and that person was William. And then like over time, I had been praying. Over that time, I had been praying for God to bring me someone like that. And I had my husband box faithfully. I think I talked about my husband box on this channel. If so, I'll link the video in the description box and discussion board. And eventually God just gave me so many signs. Like I asked God to give me certain signs. And same with William. When William didn't really know either that I was meant to be with him until he got them little visions, and I was just like, we meant to be together regardless. And so now that's what we're working on, and we know that we're supposed to be together. And y'all, I'm sorry I'm saying a lot. I'm tired. I've been up all night and this morning doing Bible study stuff. And I have to go to work. So yeah, it's like we just really incorporated God in our relationship to really evaluate each other separately and together. And in our favor, God said y'all supposed to be together. Now, if God said, "Hey, we're not supposed to be together," then we would have both been like, "Hey, this ain't going nowhere," type of thing, and said that. But that's not the case in this situation. So yeah. Okay, next topic is mature and new. This is a more complex issue. Suppose you are both pretty serious about your faith, but one has been in the growth process longer than another. Here are some ways to approach this scenario. If you are a very new Christian, let's say less than a year in faith, congratulations and welcome to the family. We would suggest that you get involved in the spiritual growth process and become stable in your faith as you continue in your relationship. The object is to grow your own personality. It says spirituality. So that your faith is not dependent on your partners. Yes, they talked about this. I think it was the spiritual autonomy. No, adultery. Adultery, yeah. And talking about how don't make your partner your guide. That happens a lot with friends too. Don't always go seek your friends. Seek God. Seek God first in everything you do. He will guide you. Um So yeah, if you are a more mature believer, it is again good to wait until the new Christian faith. Wait, I think I read that wrong. Okay, yeah, okay. If you are a more mature believer, it is again good to wait until the new Christian's faith, which you're talking about if you were with someone who's of a newer faith. Me and William is older than me. So William does have more time with me, but we both been in our faith for a decent amount of time. Like I think I got baptized like um y'all help me. 9, 8, 10. I don't know. Somewhere around that, but I've been with God through this whole journey for like 54, 5, 6, 7, 16, 17, 18, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost going 11 years. So it ain't like I just start doing this. And I know William probably has even more years on me. Maybe like 15, 20, I don't know. But it's like we're not in a situation where one of us is like just a year into God, or and the other person had like 30 years. It's like that's not even nowhere near yoked properly. So yeah, that's what they were just kind of saying here. This keeps you out of the parent role unless your date become take more ownership of his growth process. Yes, because you don't want to feel like you the one in the relationship schooling that person and trying to, like, I don't try to tell women what he needs to do as far as like his spiritual. Like, I sometimes say we need to pray. I say that a lot, but that's more or less for both of us. It's not like I'm scolding him and saying you need to pray, you doing this and you doing that. No, it's more like, let's pray together, type of thing. Yeah, don't assume that because someone has been around for a while that they are mature. At the same time, the younger believer still needs time to develop and mature. Ultimately, it is best to date those who are about the same maturity level as you are. Yes, like I just said. This can solve many dependency, control, and growth conflicts. But make sure that you are scrutinizing yourself harder than you and your date. James 4:6. And make sure that both of you are interested in pursuing God and growth, that you are believing at the same level. It is truly more important to be engaged in the process than it is to be constantly jockeying for a position. Yes. It's not a competition. It's literally me and William are together, and just like other people are just together with God in the center, and they going together separately, but together. That's all it is. It's not a race. I don't feel like I have to try to beat William to be more godly, and he don't feel like he has to beat me. It ain't that serious to us. We're in a relationship based on our faith and our love, and that's it. And we seeking God through everything. That's it. It's not that deep. um. Okay. In addition, make sure what you see as a maturity difference is not simply a stylistic difference. This is like what we said about the commitment issue. A person who hasn't had formal theological training, for example, may be much more mature in her walk and character than someone who has. Remember that God creates more about our hearts than our religious tradition. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Matthew 9:13. Always include character in how you approach each other. Look at whether the person loves, is truthful, lives in reality, and functions as an adult. Often, a person who functions well in the real world has a better adjusted spiritual life than someone who has a lot of head knowledge but can't function well. Sorry, y'all, I had to take a little intermission. Just going to wrap up. We're going to go ahead and do the conclusion and the takeaway tips. And yeah. In conclusion, ultimately, the spiritual part of dating means we are to set limits on all sorts of desires and impulses. Wanting the person to be compatible spiritually if he is not, trying to change the other person spiritually, denying spiritual conflicts in a relationship, missing our own spiritual weaknesses and focusing on our partners, and being afraid to address the spiritual issues. However, as we continue to grow in Christ and His path, it becomes easier to love and invest our hearts wisely and well in our dating lives. Here are some takeaway tips. Don't wait until later to make your faith part of your relationship. It is just as real to your life as your career and taste in movies. Don't interpret religious agreement or passivity on your date's part as spiritual compatibility. He or she should have an active faith that has involved thought and struggle. If you find yourself always taking the initiative, see that as a problem. Enjoy spiritual differences within our faith and learn from them. Don't beat up your date trying to convince her of a certain position. And develop a relationship in which you are both challenging each other to walk your talk. So yeah, y'all, that is the end of boundaries in dating. Take God on a Date Part 2. This is day 7 of Vlogmas 2018 for Friday. Actually, Saturday Vlogmas, so day 8. I'm probably gonna really do an actual vlog because I plan to be doing something. So I do work that morning, so nothing is gonna be exciting but me going to the bus stop and getting on a bus, and then y'all gonna see me when I'm getting off of work. And after work, I may be going somewhere. So I will not spoil it because I don't want certain people to hear what I may do. So yeah, y'all. Adios, chicas and chicas. Bye.